today.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think they're joining, sir.
So Ankit, you are a journalist, right?
Yes, sir. I work for the Kathmandu Post.
Oh, I see. The reason why
I asked, a lot of things going on in Russia and Ukraine. So
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sir, I've also applied for my master's at the University of Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've applied for master's in journalism.
Wow, perfect.
Thank you. Last year I got accepted, but I couldn't. I couldn't attend the grad school because they weren't offering me scholarship. So let's hope they.
Did you get
response from university or not yet?
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, University of Oregon is
very good for journalism, sir.
Yeah.
Nói sau đó con làm cho với một người như thế. Chả được.
Okay.
There's I think there's some echo coming. I don't know from whose side it is, but I can hear like two sounds.
Two sounds. So
Okay, now you won't hear it. Because I turned two computer on. So are we only two people right here?
I'll call Sean once.
Sudo Manfula. Suta. Nepal Suta, America Boniga. Did you get the point? Ankit and Kundu. So I would like to start from reviewing from last week what we did. And since you are already here, two of you, can any one of you volunteer to speak a little bit of what we did last week to refresh so that we can wait for another couple of people to coming in. So who wants to volunteer? Go ahead. What we did last week. Any review, any remembering, any question? If you don't understand, just raise your hands and then keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
So we started off by introduction, then we moved on to vowels and consonants, and we talked about questions like when, where, which, how, and pointing objects and identifying objects. Then we did what? We also talked about a song, I think. If you know any Newa Bhaye song.
We also talk about location, how to find a location.
Right? Location, yes.
So
and we also asked about how we felt, right?
Anything else you want to add, Ankit?
Yes, sir. So we also touch on how the numbers are used in Nepalbhasa, how we use certain words when we are denoting a certain object.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also talked about mostly the last classes were dedicated on conversation, how we can have conversation with people living near our locality, or someone if we meet in a temple.
Temples, yes.
Yeah.
Temples and stores.
Yeah. Anything else? All right. So how about the feelings and sensation? Do you remember that? Pitata, pechala, nyola, chanula, tonkala, masti wala. These are all. So in the early morning, so I started saying tonkala. That doesn't look like appropriate say to say. But anyway, so these are the sensational, about, which is a little bit different than English one, because I am hungry, nepitata. So you have to say Malai in Nepali and Jita in English, Nepalbhasa. So because in English, I am hungry, that kind of constructions is like a passive construction. Whereas in South Asian languages, so Jita means me hungry. That's how the people say that. Me hungry, me thirsty, give me some water, me hungry. I want to eat something. So those kind of senses is a little bit different in Indo-Aryan and also in Tibeto-Burman languages. So Nepalbhasa is a Tibeto-Burman language, and Nepali, Hindi, Urdu, these are all Indo-Aryan languages. So that's how it is different than English or European languages. So have you had a chance to go through the difference between long vowel and short vowel? It's on the page 10, lesson 9, and also on page 11 with the different kinds of consonants. So are you still any confusion or anything? So how to make it long, how to make it short, and also with the how to make it long, short, and nasal. So those are the very typical kind of Nepalbhasa or focus sounds, which you cannot find in other languages. So probably when you look at the Chinese or different Japanese language, they have a tone. So the one word ma is a different sound. Ma is a different sound. Ma is a different sound. Every single tone has a different meaning in Chinese, but the same is written like a ma. So, but in Nepalbhasa, so we have a vowel is pronounced in 4 different ways. So one just a regular short and long one, and with nasal, and also nasal and short. So if you see the difference between all those sounds the native speaker are saying, so you'll be able to identify what's the difference exactly. So same way, I have put some examples in page 10 of the handout, and same way in page 11 there are some the combination of sounds. So combination of sounds, when I say that, that's like in English, it's very hard to find those combination of one. Only the vowels are combined together. Just like a school, you need 2 vowels. So do you remember any word which has a double consonant? Film, right? F-I-L-M. L and M come together. But in Nepalbhasa, people say that they cannot say, the Nepali speaking or Nepalbhasa speaker cannot say film. Yeah, and then M, you have to pull the M, as fast as possible. Film, but people cannot say that. So that means what they do, pilim, it's much easier to say pilim. The reason why is L, in between L and M, the I is inserted or the vowel is inserted. Because we are the monosyllabic people, monosyllabic language people. That's why it is easy for us to say with a vowel and also with consonant, but it is not easy for us to make it 2 consonants together. But there are some ways in Nepalbhasa that 2 consonants are come together. So in page 11, the handout, I send it to you. So the words to remember, like we have some double K, kaku, right? Sikka and then dikka. So KK is kind of like a consonant cluster. So if you go with the next page on page 12 in the bottom, consonant cluster. So I put together some consonant cluster with a CY. C represents for consonant and then Y for Y by itself, CY and CW. So CY is very, very common in Nepalbhasa. Very, very common. Kenegu, Denigu, Denigu, Swegu, Swagu, Swegu. These are all like a consonant cluster comes together with the Y and W. We don't want to say W, it's a wa. It's a wa. So wa and Y, W and Y combined together are so many words in Nepal, in Nepalbhasa. So probably not in Nepali, we can come up with too many words combined with the W and Y, but definitely in Nepalbhasa is very, very common. And two consonants together like a KK and then NN and then NT. So there are just a very few examples we can find that, but most of the consonants we find cluster will be the Y and W. So those are the basic information what I wanted to give it to you. So moving on to another page 13, we already discussed about that, but I want to hear from you how much confidence you are in pronouncing the long and short. So for example, let me find the name. So Shravan is here too. Shravan, yes. Okay. So among three of you, so I would like to ask each of one of you to say the difference between oral and nasal. So those are very important to say. Just say the words, just say the sounds or whatever you have. So you want to go with the Ankit, please? The page only. Okay. 6 vowels are there. So difference between the oral and nasals. Go ahead.
Okay. Ki, C.
Another one. No, stop. There's another one.
Ku,
Top, the very top one.
Hey, sorry. I need to read the paragraph as well.
No. What I'm saying is just the oral and nasal on the middle one.
Middle one. The middle one is in Nepali, sir.
Yeah. No, it's opposite. It's just the letters are in the Devanagari.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ki.
I want to hear how you differentiate.
Sure. Oral ki, nasal ki.
Before that, what do you have?
I didn't get you, sir.
So the words are time and sickle, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't see that, the top line, E line.
E, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and start with the E.
Okay, sir. E.
Okay.
Ki.
Okay.
C.
Okay.
T.
Okay.
I need to read the U as well.
Yeah, all the bottom. So in this one particularly, there's a one nasal sound is missing on the second line. So as we have a nasal on the sign, the symbol is missing on ku. Go ahead and add with that one.
Ku.
Okay.
Chu. Ku. Gu. Gu. And go. Ga. Go. Cha. Cha. Da. Sa.
It also needs to be a also sa and sa also needs to add the nasal sound.
Sure, sir. Sa. Ka. La. K, 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 Saya, 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 Soe, Sai, Bye, Boy, Boy, Go, Go, Cho, Cho, So, So.
Okay, good. Need more practice. How about Kundu?
I, ki, si, ti, ku, chu, ku, gu, go, cho, da, sa, ka, la, chuke, se, boy, ko, cho, so.
Okay, Shranup.
E, C, ki, C, T, ku, chu, ku, gu, go, cho, da, sa, ka, la, chuke, sai, sanke, boy, ko, cho, so.
So did you hear that the clear difference between the nasal and oral? Oral means like a no anuswar, regular. And then nasal means the anuswar. So there are anuswar also two different kinds, long one and short one. Okay, good. So you need, kind of like a more practice to say the pure words, because it comes up very, very frequently in when we have a conversation. So that's why I want to make sure that you have a clear. Now the next one on 14 is the long and short one. Let's see, how do I go with that? Okay, who wants to go first? Ankit, the long and short. How do you make it more long and short?
Sure, sir. Tossy and tossy.
Okay, so can you do that again?
Tossy, tossy.
Okay, still the first one is still longer, so make it short.
Sure. Tossy,
Oh,
tossy.
yes. Okay.
Cossy, cossy. Wa,
Okay.
wa.
It's not a wa, it's a a.
Wa,
No, it's a wa.
wa. Sorry. Wa. Bon, so, swan. Si, si. G, G. T, T. T, T. Do, two. Lu, lu. Ka, sa, kho, kha. Bapule, baya hile,
Okay, Bapule and Bayile. So
baile.
Bapule has a long one, and then Bayile is has a short one. So okay, that's good. So go ahead, Kundu.
Tosi, kosi, wo, bo, so, si, ji, ti, du, lu, ka, sa, kha, Bahile.
Okay, good. I'm impressed with that. All the you have a very good practice. Sonu, please.
Tasi, tasi. Kasi, kasi. Wo, wo. Bo, bo. So, so. Si, si. Ji, ji. Ti, ti. Ti, ti. Do, do. Tu, tu. Lu, lu. Ka, ka. Sa, sa. Kha, kha. Wapule,
The B,
bahile.
B. It's a B. It's not a wa.
Bapule, bahile.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Now the reason why I'm practicing, with all of you too, because if you are shy to make it long and short, and you will not be in speaking correctly. So you need to make sure that you pronounce the long and short vowel correctly, so that the people will understand. So, but anyway, so these are the things like we need to make sure for the sound system. Now moving on to another page, I have a whole bunch of sentences. So same way, starting from Ankit, please go ahead and read the paragraph and then move on down.
Nepal, lesson 13, pronouns and case marks. Nepalbhasa pronouns are independent words as they are in English and Nepali. However, in Nepalbhasa, case markings suffixes are attached to the pronouns in order to indicate the concept of who is doing what to whom. The first English pronoun, I, varies to my, me, and mine according to case. In Nepalbhasa, though the possessive form of G, I, jigu, my, and the objective form is jiata to me. Colloquially, they become jigu and jita. The regular and honorific pronouns used in Nepalbhasa are as follows. Ji misa kha, jigu che yala kha, jita deba bila, jike deba madu, ji chamcha ja naya, ji
See that dot
pasle
above
wana.
the cha? Do you see that dot above the cha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Pronounce that too.
Sure. Ji chamcha ja naya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ji pasle wana. Wane. Ji pasle wana.
The next one.
Cha macha kha.
Pasle is still you need to pronounce correctly. The last sentence on G pasa what?
Pasal pasle
Okay. And then the second one.
wane.
The next one.
Cha. Sorry, sir.
Pasle is the first one. Second one is what? G pasa.
Ji pasle wana.
And the second one.
Wane. The first lesson is wana. Ji pasal a wana. I don't know, sir. The second one.
Pasle is the first one. The second
Yeah,
one
the
is
second
the
one I can't
pasalong.
pronounce. Paslan.
Pasalong.
Ji paslan wana.
Yes, that's what it is. Okay, next one. Go ahead. Down the.
Cha macha kha. Changu la gonna do. Chanta suna dala da. Changke deba gulidu. Changke deba gulidu. Cha kathi dala. Cha skule hu. Cha skule hu. Cha school A हूँ school A हूँ वो मिसा खा वेगु छे यले खा वे आता चुजुला वे के जोर वाला वे जोर दुला वे पर्सी सिला वे भाता पिन था वाना वे था छे लिया वाला
Okay, good. So the difference between the nasal and non-nasal still need more practice for you. So, okay, go ahead, Kundu. Listen what Kundu say on each and every line. Pay attention, please.
जी मिसा ख जिगु छे यलय ख जित देवा बिल जिके देवा मधु जी चम्चा जा नयाँ जी पसले वने जी पसल न वना छ मचा ख छङ्गु न गनदु छन्त सुना दाल छके देवा गुलिदु छ कथी दाल छ स्कुले हुँ छ स्कुल न हुँ वो मिसा ख वयगु छे यलय ख वया त छुजुल वया के जोर दुला वो पर्सी सिल वो भात पिन्थ्यायो वन वो थ छे लिहा वाला
Okay, next is Stronup. Go ahead, please.
जी मिसा खा जिगु छे यलय खा जिता देवा बिला जिके देवा मधु जी चम्चा जा नया जी पसले बने जी पसल वना छ मचा ख छङ्गु न गनदु छन्त सुना दाल छङ्के देवा गुलिदु छ कति दाल छ स्कुले हुँ छ स्कुल हुँ वो मिसा ख वयगु छे यलय ख वया त छु जुला वया के जोर दुला वो पसी सिला वो भात पिन्थाय वना वो छथे लिहा बोला.
Okay, so the lesson from this, page 15, what did you understand? What did you understand here from here? We have a G, we have a cha, we have a wa. So what is G, cha, and wa?
G is I or me.
Okay, okay,
Cha is you.
okay.
Wo indicates that or that person, kind of, I think.
He or she.
He or she, yes.
So the first sentence is Ji Misaka. And then the second sentence is Jugu Chen Yele. So what's the difference between Ji and Jugu?
I and my, like
Yes.
more or
So now you can write it down in your paper. Write down I, and then go ahead with the G. So it doesn't matter whether you write in Roman, Nepali, Roman, or in Devanagari. So I is G, and then you have a my is Jigu, right? Okay. So same way, what is Jita? Can you imagine what is Jita?
Malai.
Malai.
In English?
To me.
Yes, it's a me. So Jita, right? So, and then the next one is Jike. So what is Jike? How do you translate that Jike in English?
Myself.
Okay, so if you say myself, I'll take that, but that's not the correct one. How
Mine.
about the G? In Nepali, we say Mosanga. So how do you translate?
I have.
Something like that, yeah. So with me.
Oh, okay, with me.
So I say with me. So okay. So next one is G. So what could be the meaning of G?
Maile.
Yeah, you said in Malay, but in English?
Maile.
To me.
I will.
So we're not talking about the power, only the pronoun. It's really hard to say in English. There's no way you can say in English like he. So G is only applicable by meaning, not by writing something. Okay, G is by me, or by, I cannot say by I, but by me. Okay, so the next one is regularly G, and then the next one is also G. Now, the difference between first sentence and second sentence is a G and Jigu. So G is ma in Nepali, and Jigu is mero, right? And then third one is Malay. You see the difference? And then GK is Masanga. And then by me is Maile. Every single difference in Nepali and also in Nepalbhasa. But whereas in English, the only difference you can see is I, everywhere I. So that I is not clear in English. What is going on in that? That's why in the paragraph we say concept of who is doing what to whom. So who is doing to whom, and then what is doing. So these are the sentence, meaning you can find in the sentence by using this ma, mero, malai, masanga, and maile. Ji, jigu, jita, jike, ji. So these are the kind of like a very specific for the Nepal Bhasa only, which is kind of confusing for learners. So that's why nasal sound, oral sound is very important in learning Nepal Bhasa, because only one sound, G, make it into nasal G. So that means by me is like an active verb, active. So same way in Jigu Chen Yele Kha. So what it could be Yele? Yele means what? Yele is a pattern. And if somebody say Yele, then how do you translate in English?
At pattern.
Is
At pattern, in pattern.
in pattern.
So that means in pattern. So in is with the Y and yellow and LA. So it is not clear on most of the cases. So I'm going to write down in Nepali. So pattern and then ma, right? So we write down pattern ma. Whereas in English, you have to say in pattern. So the pattern is the noun, but in English, you have to put before the noun. That's why it is called preposition. All the suffixes which comes before the noun, that's why they are called preposition in English. But in Nepal Bhasa and in English, Nepali, we put after the noun, after the noun. Pattern ma, right? So that ma is a suffix, but it comes after the noun. So that's why we call the postposition. In English, it's a preposition. In other languages, it's called the postposition. Post means after. So all the suffixes, all the case marks. So when I say case mark, I don't know whether you understand or not. So case marks is the same words indicating who is doing what to whom. So if I say Bal Bahadur did something, Bal Bahadur le kehi garyo. So le is added that he did something. Whereas in English, you cannot write anything, you cannot add anything. You don't need to add anything, but it's understood. Balbahadur killed a chicken. Balbahadur le chicken Mario or something. Balbahadur Ran Kha Shata. So Ran is like Balbahadur at the very end, and then you added the vowel and then make it a nasal. So that's the typical way of making it. That's why G and G, Cha and Chong, Wa and Won, Jike, Changke, Wayake. So these are all suffixes added. That suffix added has a meaning of active with me. So these are all called the case mark. So case mark in English language, but by structure it is added after the noun. So that's why it's called the post position by the structure, and by meaning is a case mark. So the case marks are very important to determine who is doing what to whom. So for example, we have the one with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Question number, sentence number 5. Ji, chamcha, ja, naya. So the chamcha, it has to be chamcha. How do you translate in Nepali? If you say ji, chamcha, ja, naya, how do you say in Nepali? Anyone can try?
मैले चम्चाले भात खाएँ.
Why you are saying maile? Because it's not there in English, in Nepali, right? I mean Nepalbhasa. Ji, chamcha, ja, naya. So ja is the object, chamcha is the object, and ji is the actor or subject. So the subject, it cannot be ma or maile is all, both are acceptable in Nepali. Ji, chamcha, janaya. So that doesn't mean that chamcha is going to eat me. Instead of you eat the you eat the bhat, you eat the ja. So that's what it is. You have to say ji, chamcha, ja, naya. Ji, chamcha, ja, naya. So when we deal with the verb next week, so we will make it clear on how the verb how the verbs are used in Nepalbhasa. So right now we are just talking about only pronouns. So every single pronoun has a different way of pronunciation by using the nasal and no nasal, and it will give you some instruction on that who is doing what to whom on every single sentence. So whereas over here, jike teba modu. So I do not have. That have is indicated with the jike. So basically it was ji yake, wo yake, cha yake. So but when we say fast, that ya is dropped and become only jike. So that's what it is. Ji yake is, when we use it in conversation, we don't say ji yake tebadu, wo yake tebadu, cha yake tebadu. We don't say that long. Jike tebadu. That's all. Ji and ya is already dropped. So that's what it is. So same way in Nepali also, ma, mero, malai, masanga, maile. These are the things are used in Nepali. So that's why it's a very clear from the grammar point of view, who is doing what to whom. So these are the information you can get. So if somebody is going, for example, in Nepal, Nepal ma, Nepal le. So that le is the in, because the post position in English is a preposition, whereas in Nepalbhasa and in Nepali is a post position. So in Nepali we call vibhakti. Vibhakti is a case mark, and suffix is a pratyaya. Pratyaya is added with a G. So same way, if you have anything, okay, I just keep talking. So there's one more, chong kathin dala. So why it is called kathin? It has to be kathin. Why it is called kathin instead of only chong kathin dala? What is the, why we have to make it long with the nasal sound with the kati? Kati is a stick, and we have to say kati. So why it is called kati? Anybody has any answer?
कथि दाल भनेको चाहिँ मैले त्यो स्टिकले हाने कथि दाल.
So you already added le. You already added le in Nepali. So that le is indicated with the kati. So it's called the instrumental case mark. So something is used to do something. To do something is a Daya. By who? Cha. Cha is a person, subject, and then Kati is a object, and then the object is used like an instrumental to do some like a die or to be hitting somebody or beating somebody. So these are the kind of a suffix and also the case mark. So the next line on the line number 3, cha skule hu. So what could be the meaning in cha skule hu in Nepali?
Timi school jao.
Yes, jao. Why it is called jao instead of cha school, timi school, something different? Cha skule hu. Why it is called jao? Okay, I want to ask you why it is called jao.
Because you are telling someone to go.
Yes,
Yeah.
order.
Order.
It's
Ah,
called the ordering. Yeah, you go over there. So that's why it's called the command form. Hey, you go there. Hey, it's on who. So that's why it's a command form. So this command form is, indicated with the whom. Who is giving a command as in the military, something like that. You do it, But for the people who are older than you, you cannot say that. Your grandparent come over to home and then you say, Baja, tale hu. Is there something appropriate to say?
no.
So how do you say?
Baje tale hu.
Mm,
Whom is a command. Can you tell your Baja to go up?
no.
Or you request your Baja to go up?
Tale bisa, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So it's a jasa.
Jasa.
Yeah. So there are the command way, regular way, and the request way, polite way.
Mm.
So all these three forms are applicable in Nepalbhasa also, whereas Nepali also, Hazur Mati Janos, Janos. So we have the word Janu Hos. Janu and then Hos is added in Nepali to make it more polite. And then Janu and Hos. So in between Nu and Hos, the H becomes silent. And that's why, because sometimes we say Janus and sometimes we say Janos, because Hos comes, H comes in between two vowels. So if the H comes in between two vowels, that H becomes silent. In even Nepal was also. So we will talk about that later on. So, cha skule hu, wo skula hu. So now the difference between cha skule hu and cha skula hu. What's the difference? Anybody has anything to say on that? Cha skule hu means timi school jao. How about the cha skula hu? Can you guess?
Timi school bata jao.
School bata.
Yes.
Auki
School
jao.
bata.
Bata.
That means like it's called the bata is like a different kind of a suffix, different kind of case mark, different kind of vibhakti. From, you go from school, so somebody is already up to school, and then if you want to go further from school, so school long, so that is another suffix, another case mark. So these are all case marks that are very, very clear in Nepali. School bata. So there is a word, clear word bata is there in Nepali, but whereas in Nepalbhasa, those clear words are not applicable in Nepalbhasa, but it's just like a sound from oral to nasal. So that's why school long. Okay, wo misaka, waya guchen, yeleka. I think we already did that. Wayata chuzula. Now the wayata. What is wayata?
Uslai.
Yes, uslai. So lai is there, right? Malai, uslai, timilai, tanlai, tapainlai. These are all lai is added. So that lai in Nepalbhasa is become yata. Jiyata, chayata. So that jiyata is never pronounced in saying, but in writing, jiyata is okay in a long form, but in a short form, jita. The ya is bye-bye. Jita, Chanta, Vaita, Ram Yata, Bau, Ba. So if it is a clear noun, like a word, like a noun, like a person's name, then Ram, you have to have then Yata. Ramta. It doesn't sound right when you say Ramta. Doesn't make any. Maybe it's like a broken Nepalbhasa. So Ram Yata is clear. So if there's a name, then Yata is very important. But if it is a pronounce, Jita, Chanta, Waita, so just like in Tapailai, Wahalai, Uslai, Timilai, Talai, all these things. Lai is Yata. And especially in G, so sometimes also pronounced as a Da. Jiyata also becomes Dati, Jitati. Jitati is a regular way of saying, but sometimes it is also pronounced so fast, T becomes D, Da, that's all. Dati. Kundu, do you hear that all the time?
I think
Dati,
so.
Dati. Yeah, Dati. So Jita, T becomes Da, D. So it is also possible in Nepalbhasa that sound changes in a fast way of saying. Malai deo. So if you keep saying malai, lai deo, it becomes lai deo. More will be gone sometimes. So it is very common by the human nature that your tongue gets twisted. So, okay, wayake zor dola. So yake is with, right? With me. 1%. Okay, now the last one, ji, and wo, right? Wo pata pinta one. So pinta. So pin is a plural. Okay, we'll deal with that in the next page. So wo portion shila, wo pata pinta one, wo touching one. Now I would like to ask you, each one of you, to translate every single sentence from Nepalbhasa to Nepali, because English is already given. I want to hear from how you understand. So everything. Who wants to go first? Let's go from Sranu first. Can you translate each line in from Nepalbhasa to in Nepali?
जी मिसाखा म केटी हो हूँ
Okay.
जिगु छे यलय ख मेरो घर पाटनमा छ
Okay.
जित देवाबिला मलाई पैसा दियो जिके देवा मधु मसँग पैसा छैन जी चम्चा जा नयाँ मैले चम्चाले भात खाएँ जी पसले बने म पसल जान्छु जी पसला वना म पसलबाट आएँ छ मचा ख
Wana.
जी पसला वना म पसलबाट आएँ छ
Wana is not I.
जी पसला वना म पसल गएर आएँ
Goy, pasulma goy. Pasul bata goy.
म पसलबाट गएँ
Sorry, G, pasul bata ayo.
छ मचा ख तिमी बच्चा हो छङ्गु ल गनदु तिम्रो लुगा कहाँ छ छन् त सुना दाल तिमीलाई कसले हान्यो छके धेवा गुलिदु तिमीसँग कति पैसा छ कथि दाल तिमीले कथि तिमीले
Hey, help him. Sunam got stuck with the kathi.
Natti.
तिमीले
Okay.
लट्ठीले हान्यो
यहाँ अगाडि लट्ठी छैन?
छ स्कुले
Okay,
हुँ
go ahead.
छ स्कुले हुँ तिमी स्कुल जाऊ छ स्कुल हुँ तिमी स्कुलबाट आऊ वो मिसा ख ऊ केटी हो वयागु छे यलय ख उसको घर पाटनमा छ वया त छु दुला उसलाई के भयो वया के जोड दुला उसलाई जोड छ के उसलाई जोड छ वो पसिसिला उसले सारी लगायो वो भात पिन्थाए वन वो भात पिन्थाए वन ऊ ऊ श्रीमानको घर गयो वो था छे लिहा वाला ऊ आफ्नो माइतीबाट फर्क्यो
Okay, good. Yeah, there is some confusion for you, so we'll deal with that. Okay, who is next? Kundu?
जी मिसा ख म केटी हो जिगु छे यलय ख मेरो घर पाटन हो जित धेबा बिल मलाई पैसा दियो जिके धेबा मधु मसँग पैसा छैन जी चम्चा जा नयाँ म चम्चाले भात खान्छु सर म चम्चाले भात खान्छु हैन न मैले चम्चाले भात खाएँ
Yes.
जी पसले वने म पसल गएँ जी पसल
Yes.
नवना म पसलबाट गएँ
Okay.
छ मचा ख तिमी बच्चा हौ छङ्गु ल गनदु तिम्रो लुगा कता छ छन् त सुना दाल तिमीलाई कसले पिट्यो छङ्के धेवा गुली छके धेवा गुली दु तिमीसँग कति पैसा छ कति दाल तिमीले लठीले पिट्यो ओके छ स्कुले हुँ तिमी स्कुल जाऊ छ स्कुल हुँ तिमी स्कुलबाट जाऊ आई थिंक वो मिसा ख ऊ केटी हो वयागुन छे यलय ख उसको घर पाटन हो वया त छुजुल उसलाई के भयो वया के जोर दुला उसलाई जोर छ र वो पर्सिसिल उसले लुगा लगायो वो भात पिन्थ्यायो वन ऊ श्रीमानको घर गयो वो थछे लिहा वला ऊ माइतीबाट आयो कि गयो वो थछे लिहा वला ऊ माइती गयो आई थिंक वला
Wala is come.
वला हैन ऊ माइती आयो
Maiti ayo.
माइतीबाट आयो
Okay, now whose turn? Ankit?
जी मिसा ख म केटी हुँ जिगु छे यल ख मेरो घर पाटन हो जित धेबा बिल मलाई पैसा दियो जिके धेबा मधु मसँग पैसा छैन जी चम्चा जा नयाँ मैले चम्चाले भात खाए जी पसले वन म पसल जान्छु जी पसल वन म पसलबाट जान्छु छ मचा ख तिमी बच्चा हो छौ ल गनदु तिम्रो लुगा कता छ छन् त सुन दाला तिमीलाई कसले कुट्यो छङ्के धेबा गुलिदु तिमीसँग कति पैसा छ कति दाल तिमीले लठीले हिर्कायो छ स्कुले हुँ तिमी स्कुल जाऊ छ स्कुल हुँ तिमी स्कुलबाट जाऊ व मिसा ख ऊ केटी हो वेगु छे यले ख उसको घर पाटनमा हो वे त छुजुल उनलाई के भयो वे के जोरवाला उसलाई जोर आयो व पर्सिसिल उसले साडी लगायो व भात पिन्थाए वन ऊ उसको श्रीमान कहाँ गयो व थचे लियावाला ऊ आफ्नो माइत फिर्ता आयो
Okay, so from all these sentences, what did you understand? the structure of Nepalbhasa, and you can compare with Nepali, right? So every single sentence has some kind of, the meaning of case mark. So now we know pronouns ji, cha, and wa. So in English, I, you, and then he. But in English, there are two different kinds of a he. So he and she. But in Nepalbhasa, we don't have a distinction between the male and female. We call only wa. So that's why to make a difference between the he and she, we have to make sure wa misa. You have to say wa misa, wa misang. Otherwise, there is no distinction between in a pronoun. So he is always, wa is always, he or she, both are applicable. So the other question, ji misa ka, and then if you go down to the second group, changu long gonna do. So there is a difference between ka and then do. Who can answer this question? Why it is ka and why it is do? Where are your clothes? Where are your clothes? Go ahead.
ख भनेको चाहिँ हो भन्न मिल्यो नि दु भनेको चाहिँ छ.
Okay, so what's the difference between ka and do? What's the difference between ka and do? Literally or grammatically, how do you describe? If you want to explain to somebody who doesn't know grammar, who doesn't know Nepali, who doesn't know Nepalbhasa, how do you describe to other people? Hey, cha means blah, blah, blah. Hey, do means blah, blah, blah. So how do you say that? How do you explain to the other people who does not know do and cha?
Do भनेको पोजिसन देखाउनलाई हो.
Okay.
अनि ख भनेको चाहिँ I don't know बिर्सेँ मैले.
Anybody wants to say? Sranop, Kundu? I give you 1 minute break. I'm going to turn my light on outside.
ख भनेको आइडेन्टिफिकेसन अनि do भनेको चाहिँ पोजिसन.
छ दु.
Think about it. Okay, good example is this is a pen, right? There is a pen. What's the difference?
यो कलम हो. This is a pen.
There
त्यहाँ
is a
कलम
pen.
छ. त्यहाँ कलम छ.
So what's the meaning of those two sentences? So these things are called linguistic difference. We know everybody, we keep saying that, hey, there's a pen, there's a ball, there's a cow, there's a boy, there's a man, there's a girl. But it's showing that the person is occupying a space. Or everything is called locational location. And then other one is equalizing. This versus this is equalized. This looks like a pen. This is a pen. It's equalizing and locating. So that's the difference. Ho and cha are the two different things. Mero hatma paisa cha. Yo paisa ho, right? So ho, yo paisa ho is equalizing, and paisa hatma cha. Cha is locating something. So this difference is not available in English language. You can remember the meaning, but is verb is used for both. But whereas in Nepalbhasa, we have a do and cha, do and ka. So that's what we need to keep in mind that. What else you have with the question on these few sentences? I guess it's time for a few minutes break. It's 1 hour already. Okay, take a
Sir.
break for 5 minutes. Yeah,
sure.
if you have a question, go ahead.
लिहामको एक मिनिङ के हुन आउँछ त्यहाँबाट
return.
आउनु रिटर्न
Return. Okay, 5 minutes break. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm back. So is it going smooth or something is kind of getting difficult or hard to understand?
Not hard to understand, sir, but because maybe we don't have that practice, so sometimes it can be difficult to pronounce a few words.
If you keep hearing, you can guess the sound. If you keep speaking, you can pronounce easily. So if you are shy, you will not learn English in the Nepalbhasa very well. You should not be shy. If you are, like a confusion, just keep saying, it doesn't matter if it is a mistake, you get a mistake, and then next time and the next time and next time you can clear. So from your reading, all of you, there are some errors I found that. For example, you have to make clear that pasalan, iskulan. So those are very important. If you forget to use that pasalan, that becomes not bata, but it becomes to school, not from school. So you have to make sure that those sounds are very clear when you speak. The other thing is, I think ka and do is clear. And le, okay, G and G, cha and cha, wo and wong. So those are very important for you to, make sure that you spell out, you pronounce very clearly. Any more question? I'm trying to log on to another computer, but somehow it's not logging me in out. Because I have another example. So the gender difference. I'm just going to read some sentences so to show you the gender difference in Nepalbhasa. So in earlier sentence, I have a G misaka, right? So that means I am a girl or I am a woman, or it could be, a feminine gender. So G misaka is feminine, and you can say G mizanka. So that's the masculine. To kaka. So when somebody say to kaka, so ka means what? Is that a male or female? How to differentiate? Ka. यो कुखुरा हो भन्यो भने यो कुखुरा चाहिँ मेल हो कि फिमेल हो कसरी पत्ता लगाउने? How do you differentiate? Are you shy to say that? Nobody speaking.
I don't know.
Kukra itself is female, so I don't know.
All agree?
What?
Yeah, because kukra le anta parsan, so I think it has to be female.
That's a good answer. So I can say that. So if I say wo kaka means what? Male or female?
Female.
Okay, so I go with you. And how about wo gonga ka? What is gonga?
Gwanga
Bongo.
means hen.
You have gonga vu bus stop, right, in Kathmandu?
Yeah, Gwanga. Yeah, Gwanga is also kukra. I think. I don't know.
No idea, sir.
Gonga is the father of Challa.
Oh, hen.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's like a rooster.
Rooster.
The bale. So now in Nepalbhasa, we have a feminine gender indicated words and also the masculine gender indicated words like a ka and then gonga, right? But if a small insect a small insect or small crow or a bird, you don't know whether that bird is a male or female. How do you differentiate? In English, you have to say, oh, that looks like a male bird, right? Oh, that looks like a female bird. You have to say that. Otherwise, you don't know whether male or female. So you have to specify with using the word male or female. Same way in Nepalbhasa, wo misama ka, wo mizama ka. So mizan and misa are the two words to differentiate male and female. And then you added something. So for example, now you go to the Chidiagar or zoo, and you saw a big tiger, and you don't know whether the big tiger is a male tiger or the female tiger. Now I'm asking you, how to differentiate the male tiger and female tiger? Tell me in Nepali first. How do you differentiate?
Bag र बगिनी भन्छ.
Yes, in Nepali we have two different words, but I never heard people say bagini, bagini, bagini. No, I never heard that. So any guess for Nepalbhasa?
No idea, because I don't know what bag is called in Nepalbhasa.
Bag is dhu.
Dhu.
Okay, dhu is bag.
No.
So if you say the long one, that is not the meaning of bag. What happens? I want to ask you, Kundu. If somebody say long dhu, what does that mean?
Dubati.
Yes, see the difference, the long and short. If you just say short one, dhu means tiger, and then if you forget to use the short one, you start saying dhu, and then you are asking there's a way of saying in Nepalbhasa, Banya Pasal is the the store for Jaributi store, right? Banya Pasle Dhunya wala. So in that store, whether the tiger comes to buy something or not, if you forget to say that. So that's what it happened. Dhu and dhu. Dhu is a long one. That means incense. And then the dhu is a short one, is a tiger. So misama dhu is a male, female tiger, and mizama dhu is a male tiger. You have to specify with the misa and mizam to indicate the gender in Nepalbhasa. So otherwise, there are some words which is automatically gender specific. For example, sa and duan, or gai and goru. So goru is a female, male, gai is a female. So it is understood. Some words are there, but if there is no understood, if there is no indication whether it is to male or female, you have to use by misa and then mizan. Now, to show that it's a person, not a person, actually a living being, you have to say ma. Misa ma. You have to use the word ma to indicate misa ma and misa ma. So those are the clues to remember. Wa misa ma dhunka. Wa misa ma dhunka. Wa misama changaka. Changa is a bird. Wa misama changaka. Wa misama kika is an insect. Kira, yo female insect. Wa misama kika. So ki is a, it's not only just a key, it's a long key. Kika. Kika. So it has to be long. Wa misama kika. Wa misama kika. So when there is no difference between the gender in a word, you can make it gender difference by adding misama and then mizama. So that's the clue of making difference between. So I have some more examples. For saka, for donka, for choleka. Okay, the word chole or bakra, is that a male or female?
Bakra is female, I don't know.
Yeah.
Chole in Nepalbhasa is called the chole, is a female. So, and then what is the male version of bakra?
Boka.
And in Nepalbhasa, anybody can guess?
Boka. Dugu.
Dugu.
Dugu. Okay.
Dugu.
Yeah, dugu is the male. Dugu and chole. So it's understood by itself, the word by itself. You don't need to say Mizama dugu or Misama dugu. It doesn't work that way. So there cannot be a the female kashi. So is that okay? Nobody said that female kashi, right? Okay. So what dhunka, what Misama dhunka. I will send all these, when my computer gets ready to. So these are the things, you can make a difference with the male and female. It might be a loss of time to, log on computer. Okay, another one, wo mizama dhunka. I just said that. Ono misama kishidu. Now, what is the meaning of kishi?
Hati.
Yes, pulukishi. What is the meaning of pulukishi? During the Indra Jatra time, you have a pulukishi, right? What is that pulukishi?
Pulukisi,
There
white.
might be some. Yeah, you can say white or maybe a miniature. Miniature might be the good one to say. Ono misama kishidu. Ono misama challadu. What is the word for challa in English? It's the same word in Nepali too. Yeah, it's a D-E-E-R. What is that?
Deer.
Yeah, so challa is deer.
Right.
Hana misama challadu. Ono misama kishidu. Mizama sala ganadu. Mizama sala ganadu. So what could be the meaning of that? Mizama sala ganadu. Mizama sala ganadu.
Ideas.
Gana is, we have a word gana from last week. Gana means where?
Where, yeah.
Yeah, so mizama sala ganadu means what?
Sala means
Sala means what, Kundu?
Sala means horse, I think.
Mizama sala ganadu.
Male घोडा कता छ?
Yeah, just similar. So if you want to say in Nepali, how to say that? You use the word male in Nepali. I mean, in English word Nepali mixed together. So how do you say in Nepali for
घोडा कता छ?
It doesn't indicate this gender. How do you make it gender specific?
भाले घोडा.
Do you say that bale koda?
No.
No, then what do you call? Yeah, these are very language specific, especially in Nepalbhasa, we call Mizama Sala, or in English, the male horse or female horse. So same way, kala hunkana do. So kala hunkana do. So what does it mean? Any guess? Kala hunkana do. So thana, ana, and then last week we mentioned about that. Thana, ana.
Wana.
Ana is here, ana is there, and hunkana is what?
Utyang.
Near.
Yes, त्यहाँ. Yeah, त्यहाँ. Who त्यहाँ छ भने थन खला हुnkana. Kala means that, did you see that? It's all the way there. Okay, and the next sentence we have wo manu sukha. Now what is the meaning of that?
त्यो मान्छेको
Wo, okay, sukha, right? Su is asking for who. Wola japuthencho. Now what is the meaning of that? Wola japuthencho.
Oh, Japu जस्तै छ.
Jastay cha. Yes, ten is for the jastay. Wo napa wo ma Japani moko. What does that mean?
उसँग आएको जापानी हैन.
Wo napa wo ma Japani moko.
उसँग आएको ज्यापुनी हैन.
Yes. Now, the other way of making gender difference is adding ni as in
Ni.
Nepali. So, shrestha, shrestha ni, shasha, shasha ni, tuladra, tuladra ni. And also ni is added to make it more feminine form. There's another way of making that, but it cannot be dhun, dhuni, doesn't work. The dhun is an animal, but you cannot make it, gender specific by adding ni. So ni is only for the, pronoun and also caste difference. Caste difference. If you want to make it caste different by male and female, ni is added. Sauji, Sahuni Ganasala. Now, what is this meaning of Sauni? Sauni can be what?
Sauni is a female shopkeeper.
Yes. So ni is there, right? So another one, Jata Swayamo Guru Juya Che Gana. Okay, I think this might be a little bit long for you to understand. Well, I have to give you the handout for you. So Guruju, okay, that is also long one for you. Guru Maju Yaken Yena Disa. Now, what is Guru Maju? Guruju and Guru Maju.
Guruju means priest, and Guru Maju means female priest.
Or his wife. Okay, so these are the kind of gender difference is available in Nepalbhasa. Now, hopefully, do you have a dictionary, Nepalbhasa English or Nepalbhasa Nepali or any kind of dictionary you have? Yes or no?
So no, sir.
Okay, is there any way you can buy a dictionary?
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Yes, sir.
Where you go? Maybe you go to market and then buy a dictionary. So now is your time to build up the sentences. Until now, what we discussed, ji, cha, wa, gender difference, and pasale, jike, wayake, all these are case related. So until last week, I did not ask you to write down the sentences, but now on you can build up your sentences by adding the word from dictionary, put together, ji, cha, wa, and you just make it random, sentences. If it is not correct, that's okay. Just give it a try. So give it a try, and the more and more you write it down, you will have a practice, and then also you will remember, and then how to say, and then how to write. So I want to make sure that you understand that the nasal or the anuswar or chandrabindu, or those are all available in Nepal language. You have to make sure chandrabindu is a short one, and then bindu by itself, anuswar by itself is a long one. So long one and short one, and the visarga is the one 2 dot after the alphabet. So that is called visarga. Visarga, that is represented for long representation of vowel. So these are the kind of the grammatical. Now slowly we are going a little bit deeper. So now the next topic is, so for example, I is G. How to make it more than one G in Nepali? Me, ma, ani त्यसपछि, what is the plural form of ma?
Ami.
Ami.
What could be the Nepalbhasa form of हामी? Yes.
Jew.
No.
Jimta.
Yeah, the ta is not added, but jipi is plural.
Jipi.
Jipi, chipi, upi. Jipi, chipi, upi. P is added. So if you are from Bhaktapur region, the Bhaktapur people, they add a pum. Jipun, chipun, and upun. They added pum, but we're not talking about Bhaktapur dialect here. We're talking about standard dialect spoken in Kathmandu. So that's why we use the word, we use the suffix, not the word, suffix. P is added for making plural. So that's why the P is added. Now I have some, but sometimes same kind of a P is not added in all nouns to make it plural, just like in Nepali. So for example, manis. So manis is a word. So how to make a plural of manis? in Nepali?
Mancheharu.
Yeah, so it's very clearly in Nepali you added haru, but that haru not come all the time. Mo haru. Can you say that mo haru?
No.
Why not? Give me the reason why not.
Because mo ko hami नै छ.
Yes, mo always have a hami, but
Mhm.
whereas in G we add just the haru. G haru in Nepalbhasa. Right? Haru is a P. So P is added in haru. Cha is a Timi, and then you added haru, right? But in English, you don't make a difference between the one and the more than one U. So Timi, Timi, haru, same way in Nepali is the same word. And also in Nepal Bhasa, we have all the three different kinds of, U, just like a U, cha, and then U in a honorific way, chi. In Nepali, we have 6 different kinds of you. Ta, timi, tapai, hazur, yaha, and sarkar. There are 6 different kinds of you in English. I mean, Nepali. But whereas Nepal Bhasa is only cha and chipi. Chi. Cha and chi. There are 2 words only. So if it is a chi and pi, then it means if chipi could be more than 2 people. If you add तपाईहरु सबै or you all, then you added chikipi sakale. So those are kind of words. Now I'm going to read some sentences. Probably you will understand most of them. So showing the difference between the plural sense. Jigu na chu, right? And jigu na minukha. Chigu thar chule. Now asking for thar. Jigu ji manandar kha, right? Jimita samina tai. Now, what is this jimita?
Hami lai.
Yes, hami lai. So ta is like. So earlier I said the ji jipi, but here in jimita, so ta is also added as a plural in some cases. For example, where the ta is comes out, I will explain a little bit later. Chi goma mustadu. So what is the meaning of that?
तिम्रो कतिवटा बच्चा छ?
Yes. तपाईको कतिजना नानीहरू छन् बच्चा? निमो डु का छम म्या छम. Now what's the meaning?
दुईटा छ, एउटा छोरा एउटा छोरी.
Okay. Now we have the number ni, and then we have to add a ba. You just cannot say ni du ka chamo mya. You have to have added with the ma. So that ma is indicating that the person. It's like, because in the next week I will talk about some very, very specific feature of Nepal Bhasa. It's called a classifier, which is not available in Nepali. Just like in Nepali, you say ek jana and then yota. Like ekvata gai, ekvata bag, ekvata chara, ekvata kukur. So you can say wata. Whereas in jana is for the person. Ek jana manche, dui jana manche, char jana aimai. These are the things. So in Nepali is like a human and versus non-human. But whereas in Nepal Bhasa, we live like a jibit versus non-jibit, nirjib. So nirjib is one category and jibit is one category. Doesn't matter. Jibit means people, animal, insect, anything. So that's called a jibit. So in Nepal Bhasa, we use like a jibit and nirjib, whereas in Nepali, so human versus non-human. Okay, ipi gonna dule. So ipi for the third person plural, right? De. Dai tha madui kiza pi chauni. Now kiza and then pi. Now when we have a kinship means a relationship, parivarik sambandha. So these are used with the pi, but all others are with the ta. Kicha ta, paho ta, dhun ta, all other with the ta. So only the kinship term are with the P, and also the Sachiv. Sachiv, now Sachiv is a secretary. So what happened with the Sachiv? Sachiv Haru. So can you guess? Is it Sachiv Ta or Sachiv P? What could be the right one?
Sachiv P.
Mm.
Do you think so, Kundu?
I think so.
Okay, P is a human, right?
Yes.
So Sachiv probably the only that, if a dog is a Sachiv, then what's gonna happen? Can be a dog or Sachiv. Can a dog can be a president or no?
Yes.
Maybe of the
So
dog one.
what? If
Maybe of
a dog can be a Sachiv or no?
Yes, in some places there are dogs being president and secretary of a town or something.
It's like we are going into imaginary towns.
होइन सर त्यो अमेरिकाकै कुन कुन सानो सानो टाउनहरूमा अनि जापानको कुन टाउनहरूमा बनाएर राख्छ नि सेक्रेटरी बनाएर पढेको छु I'm not sure if it's true or not.
Probably because the dogs are also considered as a family members, especially in America. Yes. How many children you have? Okay, I have 2 children and 2 dogs. So those are children. Dogs are also children in America. So the Sachiv probably either way is fine. I would like to say the Sachiv is ta, not the P. Sachiv ta, because it's just an abstract noun. The person is a P, and then abstract nouns is ta. So Safu is a book. So how do you call Safu plural? P or ta? Pustakharu in Nepali, right? Whereas Nepalbhasa, how do you call it?
Safuta?
Yes. Safuta, kapita, computer ta, chenta. Okay, there are different way of change. Chen cannot be ta. Chen ka. But anyway, so these are the differences. Next week I will talk about all these number difference and also the the gender, the animate and inanimate. So live, alive and not alive. So they are very, very important piece of information that it is very important for Nepalbhasa to learn how to make a difference between the living beings and the non-living beings. They are counted in a different way. So if it is a flat one, it's a pa. If it's a long one like a stick or maybe pencil, it's a pu. So these are all different categories based on the size of the object. We differentiate that. So it's very important for you to understand how to make a difference between. Let's see. Now, I mentioned that gender difference earlier, right? So if somebody is playing with a doll, so is the doll is alive or not live?
Non-living.
Doll, non-living. How about the statue? Buddha statue, Shiva statue, Ganesh statue. Are they living being? Are they living or not living?
Not living.
I can hear you.
Not living.
Not living. But we call ma. Ganesh Chama. It cannot be Ganesh Chagu. If you call Ganesh Chagu, means you are using that statue as an object.
Oh, okay.
So Katamari Chama, Jya Chama, Ganesh Chama, Buddha Chama, Saraswati Chama, anything. So they are statues, even though they are not living object, not living, but we call with the ma, not with the gu. So how about a bowl of dal eating bowl? What is that? What do you call bowl? Non-living, right? So it is gu, but you have to specify the size or the looking at it. It's not the gu, but what could be the possibility? A bowl of, you put some dal in a bowl, right? के भन्छ कचौरा भन्छ हैन नेपालमा कचौरा. So how if you need to count 10 कचौरा, how do you count? in Nepali?
10 kajol.
You call water, right? But whereas in Nepalbhasa, you cannot say only chagu, nigu, songo. You have to say chaga, niga, songa, penga, ga. Because it looks like a kind of a round object. A
Okay.
ball is a round object, eye is a round object. So if we have the hand, it's like flat, right? So this flat hand is not a chagu, nigu, songo. The hand is chapa, nipa, sopa. So these are very, very specifically identifying how the object look like it. So these are the very important information that you will be learning when you learn the Nepalbhasa. So I will focus on these matters in the next week. Unfortunately, we miss our one person. So is he coming next week or not? Because he missed the very important information. So anybody has a contact for him?
No,
We
sir.
miss Pranav. Pawan, sorry. Okay, so far so good. Do you have any questions?
So, sir, we use gu for non-living object, ma for living things, and ga for round objects.
Go for round, fu for stick, pa for flat. There are so many of them.
Okay.
So now the numbers. So the numbers are, do you have any idea how to count the numbers? So now put your hands up like this. Can you count? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 in Nepali, and in English is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in Nepalbhasa, how do you count?
Chaga, niga,
Saga, niga.
toga.
Keep going. Okay, let me see. Ankit wants to go. Go ahead. Keep going until 10.
Chaga, niga, soga, nyaga, nuga, and then I don't know.
How about Saranov, you know how to make it happen? Go ahead.
Saga, niga, songa. What's the
Only 3? Okay, Kundu, maybe Kundu know a little more.
No, sir. Even less than them. I don't know how to count.
Okay, so the numeral numbers, like a number by itself, is cha, ni, so, pi, nya, ku, ne, ja, gu, and sana. I went too fast. You want to write it down?
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
Or maybe I should write down in chat box. Okay, I'm going to write down in chat box. Go ahead. You all can see. But it will be in the Romanized form. Okay, cha, ni, so, ye, nya, ku, na, ja, gu, and sa, na. So these are the numbers. So now these are only the numeral base numeral values. So in order to count anything, this prefixes always comes together. But sometimes this cha becomes chi. Chagu, nigu, songu, pengu. Sometimes that cha becomes chi because sa chi, right? 100 is sa chi. So we have a finger in our hands. So if I keep counting the fingers, choppa, chopati. So pati is a finger. Chopati, nipati, sopati, pipati, nyapati, kupati, nepati, chapati, chipati. Okay, gupati and chipati. So the sana becomes G in counting. JHI, G. So chagu, nigu, songu, pengu, nyagu, kugu, negu, jagu, gungu, jigu. Chapa, nipa, sopa, pepa, nyapa, kupa, nepa, chapa, gupa, chipa. Chopu, nipu, sopu, pepu, nyapu, kupu, nepu, chapu, gupu, chipu. So this all added the gu and pa and pu and god. Chaga, niga, songa, pinga, nyaga, kuga, nega, chaga, guga, chiga. So that's the number of, number with suffixes, prefixes, and, object. So if the object is like a flat, then it's a pa. If the object is like a round, it's like a ga. If the object is like a long and thin, and then it's a pu. If the object looks like a longer than small flat, then it's a long pa, chapa, like paper, the newspaper. The newspaper is a chapa. The bread is chapa. So it's still flat, right? You have to distinguish between the, So to make it 11, then you add with the ji, chagu, ji, nigu, ji, sungu, ji, pingu, ji, nyagu, ji, kugu. So that's where the chi is added. And when it comes to the 20, then it becomes regular ni, that becomes long ni. Nigu, ni chagu, ni songu, ni pingu, ni nyagu. So it becomes a long pronunciation. Short one is only 2, and then if you make it long, ni, that becomes 20. Ni pu, ni pa, ni gu, ni ka. So every single time we have the making long with the 20 is long, and then if you go with the 21, ni chagu, ni songu, ni pingu, ni nyagu. If it is a 30, then the 3. So becomes 3. 3 chagu, 3 nigu, 3 pingu, 3 nyagu. Then it's a 40 is a pi chagu, pi nigu. So that prefix is added, and then left is added with the size of the object. So that's how you count. Chi, nasi, so, pi, nya, ko, na, cha, gu, sana is a numeral value of base, and then when you count, the counting becomes based on the size of the object, and also go with the the suffix called like a flat, long, short, thin, all round, all these things. So this is a typical way of Nepalbhasa. Probably in Nepali it is not available like a ekjana, dvijana, or yota, dvita, that's all. But where in Nepalbhasa it has to be a very specific, looking at the size and shape of the object. I will have a more example of this. I will send you by email to all of you, because scanning, the other computer is not, working very well. So I have some, scan version of that. I'll send you by email soon, maybe just hour later. Okay, so is it too much for you now, or you should be okay? Are you still, wanting to learn more, or just today is kind of like a, what do you think?
And sir, paisa गर्नको लागि चाहिँ फेरि they use different हैन
Yes,
छर्का
paisa
निका
garnulai is the paisa is a taka,
taka
but the T becomes R. Sarka, nirka, sorka, T, chataka, nitaka, sotaka, petaka, nyataka. Taka. You keep asking, what do you want to know? People is chama, nimo, somo, piema. Insect, chama, nimo, somo, piema. Animal, chama, nimo, somo, piema. Birds, chama, nimo, somo, piema. Only the non-living, objects are categorized into different size and shape. So if somebody want to buy shawl, 10 shawl. So what could be the appropriate suffix to use for the shawl? I'm asking Kundu.
shawl is lamo but it's luga.
So when we deal with the verb, we will specify in a different way. Shawl is pu. Chapu, nipu, ga is a shawl. Ga chapu, ga nipu, ga sopu, ga pepu, ga nyapu. So how about the sock, moza? I'm confused. I don't know how to say moza, counting the moza. So how do you count moza? You have a 10 pair of moza. How do you count that?
Chaga, ga.
I don't know. I'm asking. This is your homework to ask to your family members if you somebody speak that. How do you
Okay.
count a shirt? How do you count hat? How do you count tie? How do you count shoes? How do you count socks? How do you count pant? How do you count blouse or anything? So you can make a list of all the objects, and then you ask yourself to somebody who knows Nepalbhasa. So maybe you will come up with that. So next time when you come to see me, make a list almost like a 20 or 30 words, so that you count each and every noun words or name of the object and the 1, 2, 3, 4 with the suffix. So that's your homework. So then we will practice. So who wants to bring more words with the appropriate, probably think about flat object, think about thin object, think about a long object, think about a round object, think about anything, you come up with some ideas. So in human life, we use a lot of, So, okay, let me ask you one more question. Computer, how do you call, what could be the computer suffix, first suffix for it? I have 5 computers. How do you count that? What could be the appropriate word for suffix for using the computer? Any
'cause it's
guess? Any
slide.
guess? Any guess? Any guess?
No, sir.
No guess. Just guess.
GK who computer to quicker.
You say go, right? And do you all agree? You say go.
Do who
No, no, I mean number with the suffix.
Ogu.
I have 5 computers. How do you say in Nepal?
Ogu.
You got that, GK, that's fine. Computer, you cannot translate into Nepal Bhasa. It's a computer, is computer. So 5 computer, how do you say that? I just said number.
GK Napa computer do, since
So
it's
she
flat
said pa.
object. Yeah.
She said pa, right? And how about Sranuk? Do you agree with her or do you agree with him? He said gu and she said pa. Do you agree?
I think gu. Yeah, gu.
Okay, you agree with gu, right? So all 3 of you are wrong.
No.
Neither it is pa nor it is gu. The computer is ga. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I have a 5 computer, means you can say GK Nyaga computer do. It's like an object, neither flat nor like a gu or anything like that. So it's we call the Nyaga computer.
Okay.
I have no idea why it is called Nyaga, but this is the way how it is. So I think I see some pictures behind the wall in Ankit. So those pictures, what could you guess for the pictures? You have so many pictures, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do you call the pictures?
And
Ga, gu, or pa?
Naga.
Anybody has anything to add? He said ga.
But the posters are flat, so doesn't it
Yes.
mean pa?
Yes, pa is a flat. Nyapa, kupa, nepa, chapa, nipa, sopa, pepa, nyapa, kupa, nepa, chapa, tasbir. Tasbir ta do. Not a tasbir pin, because it's a non-living object. That's why it is a tasbir ta do. Okay, keep asking questions. So I'm going to give you extra 5 minutes extra just for asking questions. So if you have anything to ask, yeah, go ahead. How about the motorcycle? Is it a gu, pa, or what is the motorcycle? I have 5 motorcycles. So how do you say that? 5 bikes. How do you say that? GK.
Nyagu.
Okay, go ahead. Whatever you want to say.
GK Nyagu motorcycle do.
Okay, so she said Nyagu. How about you, Ankit and Sranap? Do you agree with her or you don't agree?
Nepal.
Okay, you say, who said Nyapa? Ankit said Nyapa and Sranap? Do you agree?
Nyagu.
Okay, he said Nyagu. The correct answer is Nyaga.
Again? But
Yeah,
it's not round.
I don't know why it is. A motor car is also Ga, motorcycle is Ga, computer is Ga, so ball is Ga, and you have a watch in your hand is a Ga. It's a randomly, you just cannot, I don't know why it is being so specific, but why it is called Ga, I have no idea, but this is how it is. So a lot of items with a gu and then ga are used. So if you don't know to use the appropriate one, maybe you use the gu, but it's not wrong. It's a blunder, big mistake, but sometimes acceptable mistake. So computer is ga, motor is ga, motorcycle is ga, cycle, bicycle is ga, small tiny toys. If it is a figure like a doll, and that's a toy, that's a ma, and also toy with the animals. Ma is it's a motor car, it's a ga. It's not a ma for the motor cars. So those are the numbers are come first and then the suffix. So without using the suffix, numbers are not used in Nepalbhasa at all. Just like Yota, Dvita, Tinta, Wota, and Jana in Nepali, and whereas in the Nepalbhasa we call lots of suffixes. Okay, any other question? You still have a few more minutes. Today, you guys, you are not very excited today. Are you on stress or something today? You're not happy with today?
There's so
You
much
have somewhere to go?
things to take in, Naza. It's getting more
Yeah.
complicated.
So that's why if you want to climb the stairways, you cannot climb 3 steps in one time, right?
Yeah.
How do you climb up?
One by
I
one.
Steps.
1 step at a time. So if you try to climb 3 steps, you may fall down. Same way the learning language, you have to go slowly. So I gave you too much information today. That's why you are kind of like I don't know, maybe I cannot do or not, because don't be confused. So it's a very simple way to do that. But interaction is very, very important. If you don't know, keep asking. If you know, just keep saying, I know this. Okay, I'm going to go it. So just keep asking and then just keep saying if you know it. If you don't know, just say something and then you make a mistake, doesn't matter. So don't be shy. Large panu parदैन क्या mistake भयो भनेर large मान्नु पर्दैन. So that's what I call all the times.
So यो अगाडिको सेन्टेन्स वो मिसा म ख भन्दाखेरि मिसा म हो कि म हो?
Ma, MH.
म.
Ma, misa ma. Now that also a different change. Misa ma is an underlying way, but when pronounced, is misa ma.
Yeah.
The H is gone when you say fast. So she is a woman. I mean, in English, it doesn't make any difference. When you say she always a woman, right? A female. So can I say he is a woman?
You can say he's a transgender.
But these days, yeah, in the whole world, he can be a woman.
Yeah.
Or she is a man. You can also say that. That's why in America, we have to define by writing the name, and then in the bracket, he or she, you have to define.
Oh.
So Prem Lakshmi is a female name, right? Prem Lakshmi is a female name, but the name is female, but the person is not a female. That is possible.
Yes.
So because 21st century, anything happens here in the world. So these are lots of people are, I don't want to use that particular word. So maybe embarrassing to say that, but it happens. It's called the gender is unidentified gender. So especially in Western countries like this, there cannot be a male bathroom and female bathroom. They are equally can go in anywhere. Both signs are given in one bathroom here in America. So anyone can go in.
Mm.
So it's coming up almost everywhere. So definitely not only in, here in America, also in every other corner of the world. So this kind of a difference is coming up. So, but anyway, this is just the extra stuff. So this is all for today, and then I will bring more and more detailed information. We will deal with the case marks today, and then next week will be classifier and the verb difference. The verbs are very, very complicated in English, in Nepalbhasa. When I say complicated, don't be scared. Just drink a lot of water before come to my class, and then you'll be okay to understand. So. All right. So anybody watching from the admin group? Hello. Please stop recording.
Daya, sir.